Well, it was back in 2014. So February 7th, 2014 is when we opened up officially. It was a big open space. It was our first, kind of setup that we had on the gym, which is like our 1.0, I guess, in sense. But it was the first part of like bringing group fitness into Rockland.
So we have some main core services. So one is your traditional CrossFit group classes. And then we have personal training in terms of one-on-one or semi-private small group 3-to-1 ratio. We have kids, so youth programs starting from age 6 all the way to teenagers. And we have a nutrition program as well for weight loss, weight gain, improving health. Those are our main core services here at the gym. Yeah, we're a coaching service. Yeah. We are not a pay-for-access gym. People don't come in and do their own thing. It really is coach-led every step of the way, no matter what program it is that you're having. So yeah.
So I'm supposed to be the one that's the visionary. So I'm supposed to plan the future, kind of like try to figure out where are we going to be a year from now, 5 years from now, what's going to happen. And when 2020 hit, as many other owners, I didn't know what to do. So we were completely floored with not knowing what to expect next. And then, of course, with all the changes and things that were going on, it kept throwing obstacles in the way. So we decided as a team, we had two choices. One is we can quit, right? Because this doesn't work, shut down and just wait to see what happens later on. Or we can take this as a learning curve and we can build something new that will be in place in case something like this happens again in different ways. So we decided we wanted to be better prepared as opposed to just kind of floating through as things go. So it was a lot of work, but we had a lot of great people to help us along the way. So once we all got together, the four of us basically decided to redo the whole plan of the gym. So different kind of business model, really dial into what our core services are, try to figure out how to start an online platform as opposed to, just running it and being like, we're open, we're closed, we're open, we're closed. We decided that we were going to communicate to the public that we're open. We're just not live for services, but our services continue online. So it took us a little while to iron out exactly the way we wanted to deliver it because we didn't want it to be when we're open, we're not doing online. And when we're closed, we're doing online. So that's a continued service we've been running since last year. And the second shutdown in December gave us an opportunity to kind of work out some bugs in the program, some things that we didn't like, some things that we liked, we kind of just tried to make better. And then rolling it out this time, it's been an amazing experience for our members. They continue to get their fitness whether they're here or at home. And we still have services that we offer here as well too, but the majority of our members are all at home with the online program. It works great.
Yeah, I can answer that for sure. The online program that they offer here at CrossFit Rush is personalized to you. So they really sit down with you and establish your goals, establish where you are in your life. If you're someone who can be active 5 times a week, if you're someone who can't, they really take into consideration your whole lifestyle and they help personalize the workouts to yourself as opposed to if you buy this online, this is the workout regardless if you're even able to do a squat or not, right? There's a lot of modification that can be done with the online program here, so I encourage definitely people to come to CrossFit Rush for that reason.
So I'm a coach here, so I coach the adults and I also coach the kids. Yes, so everyone has different goals and different equipment at home, so we tailor the workouts for what they have available to them and what their goals are. It's easier access, you don't have to drive in. It's better for their schedule. Some of them, it's easier to do from home. They can do it before work, after work, whenever they want. They don't have to follow the schedule.
Well, with everything we've gone through in the last year, even with this online schooling, the kids are in front of a screen most of the day because of school. And most of the kids today, they have video games they like to play at night or on weekends. So the screen time is extremely high. So this gets them out, gets them moving, gets them active. This is what they need to balance all the screen time they get. So
because we're a coaching service and the members are coming in and they're paying a premium price for that service, I can't the quality has to be there, and it has to be there all the time. Like, that can't just be a, 50-50 kind of thing. The members expect us to deliver the highest quality of service that we can. So I need to maintain the systems and the training necessary to do that, and provide the staff with the resources and tools to make sure that they're best at what they do and that they can deliver that to the members. Nothing can get in the way of that. Yeah.
So
There are so many free online services that people can tap into, and they're great services. There's like for a person that's looking for programming, or if they're looking for nutritional guidance or help, and there's tons of different resources you can tap into. So we had to make sure that we were very clear how we explained ours and taught ours to the public. So the online system, what is the most important is the connection between the coach and the athlete, right? Or that client or that member. Like, it's the relationship that's built between it. It's that when my coach programs the workout for me, the coach is letting me know exactly what I need to do that's going to be specific to me doing this workout to achieve my goal. And then they're going to be there to support me if I feel like I didn't do it as good as I could have done it, or if I did a great job, to support me. And I think that's where the magic is, and the connection with it. We have to give the educational tools and the resources for the member to achieve the goal, but the support's got to be there constantly for the member, because that's what motivates them and drives them and inspires them to continue to move forward. So yeah, I think that's a huge part.
we wrote up our standards of operations going with the government guidelines, and we've had several meetings on site with the city, multiple phone conversations, emails. So at every step that has come up, we've communicated with them, okay, so based on this is what we're allowed to do, this is what we're doing. And so we've had a really good relationship, a good communication. When it comes to the one-on-one services, only kinesiologists who are part of the Health Professions Act are allowed to do their services, and so that's all that's been allowed on site. Everything else has to be outside at this point, starting of this week, and so that's kind of what is being followed, other than physiotherapy, of course.
I think the biggest thing that we did in the beginning was we were going to be 100% transparent, so we didn't hide anything. We were in contact with Eve, which is the supervisor for bylaw, and the rest of his fellow officers, and we just basically laid out exactly what we were doing, made sure that they were on board for it, and they've never had any concerns and issues, because if we make changes, we update them and let them know as well too. That's important, so that there's nothing that's new that they don't know about. And yeah, so I'd give them a hats off, because if you work with them and if you're transparent, then it works really, really well. The relationship is really good.
Perfect.
You know, there's a lot of push-pull with sort of the health sector of, like, you know, gyms is where you prevent disease, right? You know, you're working on your health, you're working on mental health. Why are we closed all the time? Of course, like, there's aspects of it that we don't agree with. And there's a lot of gyms that have stayed open, taking fines, and, like, that's cool. You do you. We've chosen to follow the guidelines, and just focus on what we can control, deliver the best service in a pivoted model, and then stick to those parameters.
For me, it's not knowing. I think that's the frustration. So I can voice my opinion, but I guess it's more of I have no say. So it doesn't matter, you know, if I send an email to the Ford government. It doesn't matter if, you know, I get in touch with politicians or, you know, medical officials, or, you know, I try to, you know, make a stamp or push forward. And I'm not saying it's not worth the time to try. Of course it is. But it's just, yeah, it's just frustrating because we don't have the say. So once again, it came back down to I could harbor and hold resentment towards that, or it was I'm not in control of it. Right? So these are things that I'm not in control of. And the more that I try to continue to control those situations, the harder it gets. So we just started to focus more so on, you know, the government, they're going to do what they're going to do. The medical officials are going to do what they're going to do. COVID's going to do what it's going to do. We need to focus on the things that we're in control of. And that's what we do for our public and for the community and for our members. So
I think it's no secret to say that most business owners, like, greatly affected by the shutdowns, would prefer more clarity, a more open table perhaps, a committee even to really discuss what are they basing decisions on and what parameters really should be set in different settings. I think that's the thing is you look at a studio, like a spin studio, and I know those, they were in the media or whatever, but so that's one format of a gym, and then you have a recreational facility that runs differently, and then you have a CrossFit gym that runs differently, and then you have, micro gyms and studios where it's just personal training. Not every sector is run the same way, and I think that fuels part of the frustration is that, you can easily argue, big groups together sweating, and doing all this stuff is a high risk for COVID, but one-on-one personal training in a very controlled environment with masks on if needed is I don't know, I would argue if that's really that much more of a risk than going to the grocery store, right? You're doing something good for your health at a distance in a completely controlled environment. So I think that fuels a lot of the frustration with, better communication, better parameters based on your industry and how it is run within the recreational facility gym setting would be really beneficial. But if that's where we focus our attention to, then you just get sucked into this big dark hole, right? And so meanwhile, it is what it is. We interpret as we can. We lean on our officials at the city if we have questions, our health unit, and we just move forward with what we can do and do the best that we can. In terms of the impact for businesses is we often talk about the money, and of course that's a big part of it, but the mental strain of not knowing for so long, and then for some industries, gyms, bars, restaurants, that constant in, out, you never know how long you'll be able to work at full capacity. It's so tiring. It is very, very draining. It's gonna be really hard for businesses to recover the longer the lockdown goes on. Just because, like we said before, predictability. Usually, you run a business, you need to look at the year in advance and plan some of your events and the budget basically that goes into that. But when you're not able to do that and plan ahead, I mean, it has huge financial consequences to the business. So for us in particular, if we get delayed, we keep doing what we're doing. We keep delivering our services online. We're going to keep going this way, but we would prefer to be able to bring everybody back in the way that we did before. Just given that we live in Canada, we don't have sunny weather all year round. Our teens were supposed to start yesterday. They got rained out for their first class, and we have to postpone that class. And it's okay in the grand scheme of things, but it'd just be nice to just not have to constantly be we plan this? No, you can't do this. We plan that? No, you can't. You know what I mean? We're really proud of our members, and they've been troopers through the pivoting of our systems, and they know that we talk about it all the time. But we're super thankful that we have such a tight-knit group of people who value and appreciate our efforts and the work that we put in for them.
Oh yeah, definitely. This place has become a second home for us, and the family feel of it all is overwhelming. Every member is there for each other, whether you're brand new or you've been here since the beginning.
We do use social media a lot to interact with our members, to keep them engaged, some games online as well. And sometimes we also do some video chats if need be.
Oh, I would definitely stay here just because they take the time to teach the proper techniques. They take the time with each individual child to address his or her needs, and just the time and the investment they do in what they do is just amazing. They've always been very, very amazing.
The encouragement that's within classes when we are able to work out, or just one-on-one, it's definitely a feeling of joy, this place.
We've never been a big gym. Our community has always been smaller, and that's the way I want it. I don't want to change that. I don't want to be this big commercial, place. I want to know my members. I want to know, if they're having a rough day, I want to get a message and know if, their kids just, graduated. Like I always want to be a part of their lives in that way. And for our community, like if it wasn't for the people from the support from day one in 2014 to what they've continued to do today, it wouldn't allow us to be able to provide them the services that they're looking for and need. And I think that our community is what inspires us. And it's funny because you'll hear our members talk about the coaches and the staff and, how great and they do this and they inspire us and they motivate us and I'm so grateful for them. And I think it's the other way around, that it's our community when they achieve a goal or they're struggling and they tap into whatever resource they need to achieve that specific goal. That's what inspires me. That's what inspires our staff and our coaches to want to provide more for them. So like our community inspires us to be better. So yeah, and we need to be.
Yeah, so to sum that up, I would say clarity.
Yeah.
What we learn from this is clarity in what it is that we offer our community, what our services are, like just very, very, just sort of, it allowed us in the chaos of a lockdown, it provided opportunities of pause and reflection and regrouping and a lot of work with more pause and room to breathe to provide clarity for what we want our business to be and how we want to serve our clients. I think leading up to that, we had an idea, but it wasn't clear, at least not to us. I know for us, like the protocols that we have in place will stay for sure, because they're for the better of the public, even without COVID. So I think to some degree those things will change. I don't know. I'm hopeful. I think we're going to move forward from this. It's just a matter of when. I don't think soon enough for what everyone would prefer, but it is what it is.
I see the online programming continuing. That's not going to go anywhere for sure. But to evolve, that's what we'll continue to spend our efforts on. So we got to dial in. So like every few months, we kind of sit back. We have a staff meeting that we do every month. So we have a management meeting and then we have a staff meeting. So we get an opportunity to kind of like dial into what's working and not working. So for us, it's just going to be constantly to evolve. We need to make the systems better or smoother, or maybe the current way we deliver it to the members has to change. We get feedback from our members constantly on how things are going. So based on that feedback, we might have to make some adjustments and changes as we go, but the online's not going to go anywhere. We're just going to continue to grow and make it better.